I'm Jason. My family and I live in a small jungle village in Papua New Guinea, one of the most isolated places on earth, and I tell stories. Welcome to Yahweh's Canoe. The fire had mostly gone out, but Markus and I were still sitting in his house, late into the night, and he was rolling another smoke. Just loose tobacco from his garden, rolled into a dried leaf, but with practiced hands. We were sitting in his one-room hut in a village called Wabuku in Papua New Guinea, just swallowed by the jungle. His wife and kids were already asleep by the fire, and we were swapping stories. I was telling stories from my world, a different planet really, explaining cold, real cold. Not cold like when a rainstorm comes and it goes from 105 degrees to 90 degrees. No, a cold so strong that water becomes hard like stone. A cold so strong that you can see your own wind. I'm sure they just sounded like fairy tales to him. And he told me his stories. Stories about magic stones that sometimes appear in coconut trees when lightning strikes them. He told me about a potion you can make that'll make a woman fall in love with you. And about a spell you can use that'll make fish just jump right into your canoe. I was trying to understand the world through his eyes, trying to understand the logic behind the magic, and trying in his language to speak in complete thoughts, complete sentences, and not just puzzle pieces. And just then, thunder cracked across the sky, as if a giant bowling ball dropped just above our heads and rolled across the village. I saw him flinch, just a flash of fear across his face. And then he reached for a log, put it on the fire, reached for another one, leaned in, and blew on the fire to make the flames rise higher, grabbed all the logs, stacked them on the fire, until the flames had reached about halfway up to his thatched roof. And in my broken language skills, I asked him, "Amo bibiwa mata, are you cold?" And he said, no, it's for the storm. Now anybody else in the village would have understood exactly what he meant, but I didn't know, so I asked him to explain. And he said, Di bikabu nimyari ako iboroa debat. There's a bad spirit inside of this thunderstorm. And then he explained more. When those spirits are angry, they shoot lightning bolts at our coconut trees to kill them. They shoot lightning bolts at our houses to burn them. They attack us. So we build the fire big. When the bad spirit sees the fire, they're afraid and they stay away. My head was reeling. Felt my blood pressure quicken. I don't know, my heart rate accelerate. And I was dreaming of the day when I would get to tell him a different story. A story about a person, a man, who claimed to be the Creator's son. A man who, when a storm arose around him, he stood up and spoke to the wind, "Peace, be still," and the storm obeyed. I sat wondering, when I could tell this story to Markus in his own language, would Markus believe it? And would this man, so afraid of the evil spirit in the storm, would he be able to find security, peace, safety in the voice of the one who could command the storm? That's why they invited us to Wabuku, to tell them the Creator's talk. And I prayed that I would be there long enough, learn their language well enough to be able to tell Markus this story. But would he believe it? And would it change anything for him? Would it bring him peace, security, safety, the voice of the one who commands the thunderstorm? I guess we just have to wait and see.